from. The question is this party going to last? Well, let's ask our market expert, Ambareesh Baliga, is joining in. Ambareesh, before, I even tossed that question to you, I have to compliment you because I remember a conversation about a week back and you said that one shouldn't get too sort of dissuade with the way the market was falling, and you were expecting better levels in January. Is this the beginning of better times and better things to come?
Yeah, I think this could be the beginning, because I think more or less we would have made the bottom a couple of days back. I mean, unless we really cross those 8,000 levels, move towards 8,200, 300, you really can't say that 7,100 levels is the bottom. But it seems as of now that the bottom has been made, and I think we should look forward to a consolidation going ahead over the next couple of days. And this is generally what happens when you have a foreseeable event, and that keeps coming back to haunt you every time. And that's what we have seen in the last 3 or 4 months. I mean, every time we have talked about Fed and the markets have cracked. So once the event is over, I mean, you normally have a relief rally. And that's exactly what we are seeing now.
But Ambareesh, what about local cues? I mean, one could argue that this big global event is out of the way, but local issues haven't gone away. We still have a parliament which is jammed. We don't have any progress on GST. We still have corporate earnings to deal with come January. I don't know if too many people are expecting any fireworks from corporate India. So what happens to a lot of these negatives?
Right. See, first of all, when we talk of corporate earnings, I don't think the expectations are too high. I think, I mean, it's more or less discounted that the corporate earnings would be similar to what we have seen in the last 2 quarters. So when the expectations are not too high, I don't think there is too much of room for disappointment. So that's one positive. When we talk of the Lok Sabha, the Parliament being in a logjam, I think that's already been discounted, because that got discounted when we saw the markets falling from those close to 8,000 levels to closer to about 7,500 levels in the past couple of days. So I think that is discounted. When we talk of GST, whether it would have gone through in this session or whether it goes through in the budget session, it doesn't make any difference, because finally it will get implemented only by about April 2017. So I think people would look forward to the budget session as to what happens to GST. So I think, I mean, all these 3 would be non-issues as far as the markets are concerned as of now.
Ambareesh, one of the best performing stocks of the year 2015. What impact or what kind of a reaction do you expect on Maruti tomorrow?
I think what Mr. Bhargav said, relief for the management, I think that's what will play out, at least in the short term. So sentimentally positive in the short term, because clearly there was a capacity bottleneck which will get taken care of, at least in the short to medium term. But I think it's a long-term negative, because finally it's not their own facility and it will be cost plus. And I think the other plan which they have of using the cash for their own dealerships, I think that will backfire. So, I mean, if you're talking of longer term, I still have those concerns, but short term, the stock could possibly move up a bit more from here.
Since we're talking autos, Ambareesh, just very quickly, I wanted to get your quick take on Mahindra and Mahindra. Now that the dust has settled and we saw some recovery in the stock today, would you at all go and use this dip to buy, or do you think, M&M is in a bit of a sticky spot now?
I think they're in a sticky spot, because what we have seen in Delhi, I think that will spread to the rest of the country sooner or later, because once they are clear that, I mean, in case like Delhi thing becomes a success, I think the other governments will start implementing that. So I think that sword is clearly hanging on the diesel manufacturers.
Ambareesh, banks, now that this at least is one piece of the puzzle is clear, we're still dealing with perhaps higher provisioning. But overall, as you're looking at next week, would you be buying any bank stocks?
No, I mean, if you're talking of slightly longer term, yes, I mean, I would be looking at buying the PSU backing stocks, because I think the worst is already discounted for them, looking at the way they have underperformed in the last so many months. So my pick out there would be clearly SBI, PNB and Bank of Baroda, the top 3 picks in the PSU space.
And what about the immediate impact of these norms, the ones that we've seen today, base rate calculations? Would you be expecting any kind of a short-term, rally, maybe just a pop tomorrow?
No, I mean, there could be a small pop tomorrow, but then because of this, I don't think a fresh rally would start, because whatever said and done, finally it's marginally negative for the banks, because clearly they'll have to pass on the rate cut. And since the rates are expected to come down over the next 1 or 2 years, so clearly I think since they'll have to pass it on, I think that margin shrinkage would be there to a certain extent.